Oh, am I Moko or Raisin? You see the way the synopsis played out, it felt like as if I was gonna be Raisin and trying to talk to Moku and then try to figure out what's going on. But we'll see how this plays out. I guess. Yeah. Hey Raisin, explain to me this. What is it? What do you guys do? What do you guys at ANT even do? What do you mean? Well, I mean, I know ANT is basically just the name of the big mansion and stuff. But like having such a big mansion needs money. Not to mention that all you little goons of that there immortal bitch also live there. And the last time I've seen you all work at ANT, right? I would like you to refrain from calling Princess that, but you do have a point there. So, what do you guys even do as an organization, I mean? Believe it or not, I don't really know. Come on, don't lie to me. I am not. I'm just following orders. I'm not very involved in the business side of things. I guess though that Eren-sama does produce pharmaceuticals and we distribute those. Plus, we own a lot of land around the area and receive money from those properties. We also provide protection services. So, you are Yakuza. What? No, why would you think that? Well, sounds to me a hell of a lot like the Yakuza. You guys are not involved in that? No, not to my knowledge. We are an independent organization, to my knowledge at least. Then what do you call that organization then? A real estate business? A real estate business that owns a lot of turf, happens to distribute medicine and gets protection money from smaller businesses around their turf. Please don't put it that way. You are making it sound like we are criminals. Hey, I'm just saying. Could we change the subject? Sure. I want to know more about your job. My job? Yeah, I mean, I know you work at ANT for Kaguya, but, you know, what do you do exactly? Well, if I had to describe it, I'd say I'm Kaguya Hime's servant and Eren-sama's personal assistant. And that means I do whatever is required of me. Guarding the princess, delivering messages, giving directions to other servants. Most of the time it means running errands for them in essence. So you're basically their goon. I wouldn't put it that way. Now that you mention it, there are others like you, right? We have a lot of rabbits in our employ, both Earth and Moon rabbits, yes. I mean, currently, as far as I'm aware, Raisin, Seiran, and Ringo are the only moon rabbits that came from the moon and are in Gensokyo right now. Obviously, Raisin is employed by Eren. Now I don't know where Ringo and Seiran is. They had a little deal. I believe an alternative fact or somewhere that, you know, they're having a Dango competition. And that's as far as I know. But obviously, and in Visionary, we do see both rabbits, but we actually don't know where they're currently living. They are in Gensokyo still because they've been tainted by impurities. Because, you know, the whole moon's all about purity and all that shit. So from my understanding, they are still in Gensokyo, but the question is where they're living, I do not know. So it is possible what Raisin says, they could be employed by ANT. It is a possibility, but I don't exactly know. So we'll just leave it at that for now, because unless she straight up says it in the next sentence. I just wanted to make note of that, because as far as I'm aware, a lot of Earth rabbits, considering this is Earth, and she is currently the only one employed at ANT currently as a moon rabbit. There's a difference? Wait, there are rabbits on the moon? I mean, yes, I am from the moon and I am a rabbit. I can't say that it should be surprising. I just didn't know you were a moon rabbit. Well, I wasn't aware that you were from the moon to begin with. I suppose it doesn't make much of a difference to humans. Earth rabbits and moon rabbits seem to be identical to humans. Yeah. The ears are very small differences, but there are. Because you look at Seiran, Ringo's, and Raisin's ear, they are very different from Tei's here. And Tei's one of the only Earth rabbits that we really have more knowledgeable. If you look at Silent Sinner, there are more Earth rabbits in the chapter where Tei was working. Like, I remember this chapter where Tei was ordering the other moon rabbits Earth rabbits to just work, right? And there you can see more of the ears. I think the difference is the Earth rabbit ears are much more fluffier, because more rounded, I would say, compared to Raisin's kind of ear, which is more crumpled, but that might be hers. Yeah. Well, any humans I've met at least. You can't really expect people to know the difference if they aren't aware there are even two different kinds of rabbits. To be fair, I'm not even sure if Kagehime really knows the difference between the two. She calls all of Inaba. I'm just one of many Inaba. That is true. She does call Raisin Inaba, and that's her main quirk for Kage. She calls all the rabbits Inaba. Doesn't really matter who it is, as long as they're a rabbit, obviously. It's a little bit depressing, to be honest with you. What is the difference then? Again, that's such a good point. You know, now that you mention it, it would be hard to explain to you. There are some subtle differences in appearances, but I guess non-rabbits wouldn't pick up on them. But beyond superficial differences, the two are very different on physiological and metaphysical levels. Earth and moon rabbits tick a little differently is what I'm saying. So what you're saying is I probably couldn't tell the difference if I tried. Essentially yes, but I suppose if you had spent a long time with both kinds, you might be able to pick up on some differences. Meaning it's not something I'd probably do. Got it. You called yourself their personal assistant though. Yes? If you're just one of many, why would you be their personal assistant then? Well, now that you mention it, Eren-sama does call me her favorite servant. In contrast to Kagehime, Eren-sama calls me by name. Well, she has a nickname for me, but still. Sounds like you are popular with your boss. Good for you. Yes, I suppose. You mentioned having lived on the moon before. Yeah, what about it? What were you doing for a living back then? Assuming you even had jobs. Then again, you ended up on Earth somehow. Well, to be honest, it was much like today. I was a member of the Royal Guard. Really? Sounds important. I wouldn't exactly say that. It was just another job. The lunar capital is very isolated from any other realm, so there weren't many threats to deal with. I have to say, life on the moon was very laid back. As you may know, lunar technology is way more advanced than anything you can find nowadays here on Earth. Well, nowadays, Earth technology is starting to approach that of the moon. But it's still a far cry from what we had on the moon. Thanks to that, life was very carefree. It was nice. How did you end up here then? I'm saying life was very carefree, but it wasn't perfect. You were basically forbidden from leaving the capital out of fear that someone somehow could figure out how to get to the capital. Life on the moon, according to official statements, was only able to be so good because the moon was a spiritually pure realm. Earth, on the other hand, was seen as the place of the unpure. Having to live on Earth was like a capital punishment for the people of the moon, a fate worse than death. Because of this, the capital was isolated and the court lived in constant fear of the capital being discovered. It was quite oppressive sometimes. How the hell would anyone figure out that there's a city on the moon? I mean, I know about it and I still can't imagine how such a thing could exist. So how the hell would somebody discover it, let alone get there? You'd be surprised, but according to legend, there was a man a long time ago who somehow landed on the moon near the capital. It is unknown how he did it, but my former master took him in out of the kindness of her own heart. Even so, he was never told the truth. They told him something about the capital being the Dragon Palace at the bottom of the ocean. I don't know what happened to him after that. I never verified the story with Her Highness. That story sounds familiar. I think there was a legend about someone like that. Well, anyways, back to topic. There actually is a legend, something like that. Now, I read this in the Touhou, like in one of the Touhou print work. I think it was in the Sangetsu series with the Three Fairies of Light, and a story like the one. I think it was either this one or the Sound Center, because I feel like I heard something like this similar when one of the sisters was talking about it. But anyway, it is a story like that. You haven't explained how you got here. Right. Besides the legend of a man who traveled to the moon, there have been invasions from Earth. From what I recall, the first invasion was orchestrated by a small army of Earthlings. I think they used some sort of magic to get to the moon. I wasn't born yet when that happened though, so I don't know much about it. However, about 30 years ago, a group of humans was sent to the moon to claim the moon as the property of some country. Their objective being to plant a flag. That's it? It sounds banal if you say it like this, but for the capital, it was a huge deal. Planting that flag could pollute the moon, which would have been a disaster. Life on the moon would have ceased to exist. That serious? I'm afraid so. The spiritual purity of the moon is a fickle matter. Either way, members of the Royal Guard, me included, were dispatching a preemptive strike against the invaders. Suffice to say, things didn't go as planned. I thought lunar technology was more advanced. I assume you mopped the floor with those guys. And then considering what the fucking I was in the moon landing and what the astronauts had, I don't think they would be able to fight back. You would think so, but command sorely underestimated these humans and their weaponry. Okay, so these apparently the ones who were in the mood had fucking weapons ready, because clearly we knew about the fucking moon rabbits and all that. My unit was wiped out and I had to flee. Somehow, while fleeing though, through the Lake of Tranquility, I was transported to Earth. I tried getting back, but it seemed it is way easier going from the moon to Earth than the other way around. Soon after that, I met Erin-sama and she took me in. So you were a soldier in that conflict, huh? Well, I was whatever the court needed me to be. It's just what the role of a royal guard entails. I assume you have given up on going back then? If you were the sole survivor unit, I guess they just assumed you were killed as well? That is not entirely correct. Oh? You see, moon rabbits can communicate telepathically with each other. It's one of the things that make us different from the Earth rabbits. Yeah, that's one of Eurasian's very unique abilities, well, like, you know, communicating. Because she was able to figure out, like, some shit was happening at the moon back when she was in Ante. I think during the events of Silent Sinner. A few moments ago, I received a transmission from a rabbit on the moon. She was an old colleague of mine. Apparently, there has been another invasion, and since I was one of the first rabbits to fight humans, they wanted me back. They didn't want to? I mean, all the things considered, living on the moon sounds pretty neat. It's complicated. I can't say I don't miss living on the moon, but Earth has its own charm. Sure, there are a lot more trouble here, but that part of what makes it endearing. I couldn't say either way, I've only lived on Earth. Well, as long as you're happy here. Yeah, besides. Huh? It's complicated, but you know, I don't think I've ever felt anything akin to loyalty to the lunar court. It was just my job. With Erin-sama and Kage-hime, it feels like this is what I really want to do. This is where I want to be. I hope they appreciate you then.